I read where you're going to do your Christmas special in London again, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's a sign of, to me anyway, that you're feeling better and everybody else.
Well, that's easy to do. You know, you sit around, make a take, then go sit down again. Involved there.
It's going to be the Crosby family spending Christmas in an English country home with, I think they've got Dave Bowie. Isn't he a new singer?
David Bowie, yeah, right.
Just to attract some of the younger audience, and Twiggy, and probably David Niven, and this fellow Stanley Baxter in the family.
David Bowie. I think we'll see a different kind of a David Bowie. He has no wild makeup or beard or anything. He's very clean cut. We sing a duet, he sings a solo. And I think he's going to be a real fine, a real great contribution to the show.
The funny thing is about David Bowie, when he first started, which was a number of years ago, he wasn't unlike Anthony Newley. I don't know what he sounds like.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is not doing any of the wild stuff with you, I think.
Oh, and he's a perfect little dialogue scene. He reads lines very good. He could be a good actor, I would think.
And there's a wonderful duet that they sing. Bing does drama book, and David does a counterpoint, which is just beautiful.
Then he's on the record. That'll open up a new field for me if I can get hooked up with the David Bowie crowd. That'll be a big help.
This week, David Bowie, next week, Elton John. What about
The Mar of the World.
That's it, right.
And then we have a special added guest, Mr. David Bowie. You may think it's strange, David Bowie appearing with an ancient like me in a program to celebrate Christmas, because I guess David Bowie has always been known for rock, hard rock, whatever. In fact, I guess he's one of the best. But in this show, he appears clean-shaven. He and I sing a duet. He sings a solo. We play a little scene. And I think he's just wonderful and a very nice young man.
On the floor.
And the whole thing will work out.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, there was something that they were playing here in America on MTV round the clock for a while. And it was something I've always wondered about, you singing Christmas songs with Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
And this is something that I guess you probably did in '76, sometime around then. What was that like? Because it's such a strange thing to look at. You're almost polar opposites in some way, and there you are together singing these Christmas songs. Do you remember doing this and what it was like?
I remember.
Is it all a blur?
I remember doing it. The communication factor was very strange. If I had more communication in a way with Tony Asler's Dummies, but it was that he didn't know who I was. He couldn't remember my name, and he just sat on the stool the whole day. And I'd be.
How were you brought into him? So it wasn't him saying, I love this whole Ziggy Stardust thing, I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, he just loved the Heroes period, yeah.
It was very influential on Bing.
He was a very big, he tried for months to get Eno to work with him on his next, on his next album.
I would love to find those recordings.
Yeah, old Twiggy. Remember
Little
her?
Twiggy.
Yeah, sure. I remember the show that you did, the Christmas show that you did with Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
Did you do it in England?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think you did it over there. Right.
Those were interesting days. I might have done it in England or...
You do remember working with Bing Crosby?
I'm not sure if at that time Bing was aware that he was working with... I think we were both working with each other, but completely unaware. In our different ways, we had a...
But you had a duet together?
After a fashion, yeah.
Did you not get along with Bing?
It's not that. It was just it was the last part of his life, you know, and I think that he was maybe reminiscing an awful lot in his own mind. So it was, hello, Dave, you know, and then I would go and stand next to him a couple of minutes later and be, hi.
What's
my
your
name's
name?
Bing. Yeah. Like that. It happened about 4 or 5 times that day. I was getting to a point I didn't know if I should be like angry or compassionate but as I was in my own particular state of mind,
You just didn't care.
I didn't remember who he was either.
Well, at least you both had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, smashing.
You know, you worked with so many great people over the years. I was thinking about that Bing Crosby Christmas special one. where you sang Drummer Boy with Bing Crosby, which is just such a fabulous but odd juxtaposition of like iconic pop figures.
I don't think he knew he'd sung it with me. I mean, he was already at a place where not much, you know, he wasn't kind of reacting to very much around him. I mean, he was pretty old by that time, and he was just this little old fella on a stool. Hello, David, you know, and hi, Bing. I'm David Bowie. Hello, David. You know? Oh dear. But it's kind of like that.
It's actually a wonderful piece of music together. It's a really
it comes
strange
out
thing.
every year. I mean, it keeps going into the Christmas chart.